Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Tully, and today we're taking a quick look at Banished. I've done this before, obviously, but now I want to take a more slightly in-depth look, and I'm doing this at 8 a.m. because fuck me, that's why. Banished is a city building game developed by, as you can see, Shining Rock Software. It was released a few weeks ago on Steam. It's available on Steam for like €18.99 or your regional equivalent. This thing was made by one person. As far as I'm aware of, it was made by a one-man development team. Like, literally one-man development team. And you know what? That is more than enough to get you interested, because this game is good. This game is good. But before we get that, of course, options menu. There's a couple of things you should... there's a couple of things that are really interesting in this options menu, because, my god, thank you so much. Here, show Celsius temperature. As you can see, I clicked that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Just thank you so much for doing that. I mean, go on. Some of us don't use Fahrenheit. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Clip mouse to window. Thank you very much, but I don't use windowed mode. Enable edge scrolling. You might want to use this, although of course I use WAS and D to pan. Weather effects, status icon, pause when focused, auto save timer. This is the thing, right? There's two ways for you to go. Actually, there's three ways for you to go in this game. Either you go with an autosave timer that is really low, as in 15 or less, and while you do not risk, while that way you minimize the risk of you losing your progress, you maximize the risk of you fucking up and then ending up on a slow path to destruction. And it's happened before with me. Or you go longer, which is 30 minutes or more, and although you do risk losing progress, I mean actual population or buildings, you minimize the risk of you descending into a slow spiral from something bad you made like 20 minutes ago. Or you do what I did, just put 20 minutes and be done with it. Video renderer. This game is extremely well optimized. It runs amazingly. Don't have it on highest, but it doesn't really matter. I don't think you realize it. This game looks beautiful. You won't need to put it on max because this game looks fucking beautiful. Thank you very much. Audio. This game is really loud. This game is really, really loud. Louder than me, in fact. As you can see, I had to put my music volume to 7. 7. Normally I put it to 30 or 20. It's more than enough. I had to put this one to 7. 7. And, of course, fully rebindable keys. Thank you very fucking much. Fully rewindable keys on a city building game. Okay, I've seen worse. I have seen no rewindable keys on games that really needed them. This game doesn't need rewindable keys. It really doesn't. But you know what? Thank you so much. Achievements. I haven't checked the Steam page. I think it's there, but as you can see, I have got no achievements yet. Yeah, no achievements yet, as you can see. But everything's here basically, and it's got some amazing ones. Uneducated, reach a population of 300 citizens without building schools. One of the ones I really want to do, I haven't tried yet, is using a harsh climate and small mountainous map, maintain a population of 50 people for 20 years. This is more difficult than you might think. Oh yes, it is. Oh Jesus. 100 citizens without building crop field, orchards, or pastures. That's possible. Very difficult, but possible. Anyway. Tutorials. Now, here's the problem I have with the tutorials, is they teach you the bare minimum. And by bare minimum, I mean bare minimum. They really do. To the point, really, where the food production one, the survival one or whatever, might be lying to you. I think it's the food production one that basically says, oh, you just need two fishermen and that's okay. No, you don't. No. If you just have 2 or 3 fishermen at the beginning of the game, you are fucked, good sir. You are fucked. Yes. But we'll get to that later. The tutorials basically do give you the basics. They do teach you the base mechanics of the game. And of course, that's all that matters, really. Now, if you go to new game, here's how it works. You have a random seed. You can generate a new seed for a random map. You can see, blah, 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 blah. Completely new seed, which will mean completely new map. Which is why this game is 250 fucking megabytes. Not even kidding. This game is 250 megabytes. At least the download was 150 megabytes. You can, as you can see, you can auto-generate a name, Sommeldorf, well, okay, or you can just, you know, write whatever you want, like New Porto. I usually go with New Lisbon. Terrain type: valleys or mountains. That of course changes the number of mountains you have. Duh. Terrain size: small, medium, or large. That of course changes the size of the map. Climate: mild, fair, or harsh. I haven't tried on harsh yet. Disasters: on or off. Starting conditions: easy, medium, or hard. As you can see down here, I have never tried it on easium or even medium. I have always tried it on hard. That's why I'm basically on my 17th village by now or something, but I made it. Like 15th village or something. Easy, as you can see. 6 families, large amount of clothing, food, firewood, building materials, and tools. Home and storage have already been built. Seeds for fields and orchards are available. A herd of livestock. Medium. Clothing, food, firewood, and tools or construction materials are provided. Storage barn has been built. Some seeds. And on hard, you get nothing. Basically. On hard mode, you get nothing. You get 4 families, small amounts of clothing, food, and firewood and tools, no seeds, no animals. You basically have to begin as a hunting-gathering society, which is what I did, and then later on expand. I'm going to show you what I have here. New Lisbon. Before we actually start the game, this game draws a lot from Dwarf Fortress. I mean, I can tell. I've played Dwarf Fortress for years. Stop that. I played Dwarf Fortress for years, and I can tell that this game draws a lot from Dwarf Fortress. And some of you are probably cringing at my village right now, so screw you. This game draws a lot from Dwarf Fortress in that your biggest resource is not the actual, is not the resources themselves. It's the population. Your population is your most important resource. It's basically a city building game that is, how can I put this? The game is unreasonably cruel. I wouldn't say unfair, because it does stick to its mechanics, but it is unreasonably cruel in that those mechanics are easy to learn, very, very hard to master. Really, really hard to master. To the point, really, where if you don't know what you're doing, if you're just starting out in this kind of genre, you're not going to have a good time in the slightest, really. Because this game will kick you in the nuts. Repeatedly. Over and over and over and over again. And it will enjoy it. Oh, yes, it will. This game is unreasonably cruel. Because guess what? Even after you understand how it works, even after you know how it works, it's still going to throw shit at your face. Not unreasonably. That's the point, though. It's all completely open. It states this might happen, and if it happens, you're gonna have to go and find your way out. But you know what? Jesus fucking Christ. Here's how the game works. This tab controls everything you need, basically. This is exit. This is the options button, as you can see here. Right, save options. Right. Anyway, it does have a map option, as you can see, which gives you an indication of what it is you have. You know, you might if you like the map seed, you might want to save it. I actually haven't done that yet. I'm sorry. I actually haven't done that. I completely forgot. Actually, I lost 3 good maps because I just forgot to write down the map seed. Here it is. The time works like this. You go from normal time twice, 5 times, or 10 times. 10 times is very good. Because most of the time I've been using 10 times because you really just need that. Otherwise, you will not get anything done in any possible fucking manner of time. Tools and reports. Save camera locations for last. What the? I have no idea what this does, to be honest. I've never even tried it. Current camera view. Oh, I'm guessing this is like screenshots or something. Show paths. As you can see here. Increase priority. This is something I really like. Is you can queue up buildings, basically, as you can see here. I have actually going to queue up a couple more buildings. I queue up an extra house, basically. Normally, what builders do and what laborers do is they follow your orders in sequence. If you build this house, and then this house, they'll build this house, then this house. But if I go here and put increased priority, as you can see, then eventually it will change from 0 to 2 to 1 of 2, and the builder will start building that. Limits placed on resource production. You can actually limit how much production you have on a certain thing. As you can see here, I usually just add zeros because it's much easier to do that, basically. You need to stockpile on stuff, basically. It might not seem like it, but it's very, very good to have overproduction, because in case something really bad happens, like I have 24 people and 24 adults and 9 children, as you can see up here. I have 13,000 food, which is enough for like a population of twice that size. I mean, stabilized at least. But I keep it overproductive because you know something bad might happen. You don't know. That's the point. Assign jobs to citizens. You can actually assign jobs from the buildings themselves, as you can see here. Or you can just click this, as you can see, and add. These are specializations, basically. Everything from builder to cleric are specializations on specific buildings. Laborers, of course, deal with raw resource gathering. So I don't even know. Am I gathering anything? Oh, yes, I am. Okay. They deal with raw resource gathering and resource transportation. So basically, if you have stuff on the ground that needs to be picked up, laborers are going to be the first ones to go there, I believe. Overhead map, of course, shows you. Overhead map, of course, shows you the map as it is right now. See, I'm right there, as you can see this tiny little blob. There's 4 lakes. 4 lakes. Yeah, I usually end up in maps with only 2 of those. Amazing. Okay. Reports. From here, you can choose the pop-ups. I choose pop-ups on everything, basically, because I like to be warned. Pop-ups show around here. They have an annoying fucking sound that I really hate, but unfortunately, I really need to hear. Sometimes you really do need the pop-ups. It's like they're annoying. They're really annoying. The sound is terrible, and I hate the sound. But you kind of do need them. That's the whole basic point of it, including the one that dies of old age, because you might want to know when that happens. As you can see here, it does tell you the important stuff. And this is the town overview. This is the town name. This one tells you the seasons. Basically, it goes early season, late season, and next season. It goes basically early spring, late spring, early summer, late summer, early autumn, so on. This is the amount, of course, of stuff you have stockpiled. That, of course, I believe, this does not include, because keep in mind, right, you have my stockpile, as you can see here, my storage barns, and then you have stuff that people have taken into their houses, which is food and firewood. I do not believe this counts towards the total. I believe the total stockpile is stuff that is outside houses, like in barns and marketplaces. I believe that it's how it works. I really do. Now, actual game itself. Housing. You can build wooden house, which can then be upgraded to a stone house, which is this button here, or you can just build a stone house. Boarding houses are good for when you have a massive amount of population and you don't have enough houses. You can just build a temporary boarding house for the poor. I don't really like them. Roads, as you can see, dirt road, cheap, still has to be built, but costs nothing. Stone road, 1 stone per unit length. Wooden bridges, as you can see here, and of course tunnels. Tunnels are really fidgety, but they're really useful. As for instance, unless I want to go around this tunnel, I can just boom, as you can see here, bam. Instead of going around, I can just make a tunnel. Of course, tunnels are technically very expensive. As you can see, a relatively small tunnel is 64 frickin' stone. I mean, Jesus. Storage. You have storage barns. Basically, there's 2 types of storage. You have the stockpile, which is this delineated area of land, basically, which goes for firewood, wood, stone, and iron, and coal. And then you have the barn, as you can see here. This is the barn. For everything else. Clothing, tools, leathers, assorted miscellanea, and stuff like that. You can build a market, but I would refrain from doing so. Because I believe that, as of now, the market is still kind of bugged. Because every time I've built a market, my people have slowly starved to death because there's some weird bug with the market where people don't know how to get food from it. So I just kind of build lots of storage barns. The market's a lot bigger. Storage barns are easier to just put in the goddamn village, and they still hold a lot of stuff, and the villagers don't bork up. I think it might be fixed in a later patch, but as of now, I do believe the market is completely bugged. And of course, we have the trade posts. Trade posts are very, very important. Why? Trade posts work like this. Basically, what you do is I have an inventory, and this is literally every item you have. It doesn't tell you how much you have, of course. And you check the item you have, right, and you increase the amount you want to put in the actual thing. For instance, I have 30 item codes in the trading post, and eventually, a eventually a trader will come in a boat and will stop by the trading post, even if you don't have someone there. Because the thing is, right, the trading post functions perfectly, even if you don't have anyone working at the trading post. But if you want to bring stuff to the trading post, then you actually do have to have at least one person working there, up to a maximum of 20. I don't know why I would have 20, but whatever. Basically, you can only build trading posts in these large rivers and in lakes. You can't actually build them in these small rivers because there just isn't enough room, as you can see. Every once in a while it will bring, and of course, traders bring lots of stuff. They can either bring livestock. Technically, I have chickens. As you can see, I have chickens, right? As you can see here, I have chickens and I have cows. These were brought by the trader because I'm starting in hard and I don't have anything with me except for basic. If you start with hard, all you get is like a year's worth of potatoes. That's it. So basically, I'm actually stockpiling up so I can buy seeds for my crop fields and my orchards. Yeah, as you can see here. And what's amazing, really, is imagine, for instance, you can actually go here. When a trader comes to your village, you can order something from that trader. And the next time the trader comes around, hopefully he will bring that something. And I've essentially been ordering sheep for the past, 6 traders because I don't have enough stuff to trade for them. But I'm just going to keep bringing the sheep, and eventually that sheep, I will be able to pay for the sheep, and then I'll be able to put them in this pasture and use the wool to make proper coats. Now, town services, wells. Wells are extremely important for a variety of reasons. Or just one. Wells have water. If there's a fucking fire, you're gonna need water for obvious reasons. Schoolhouses. Here's how schoolhouses work. Normally, when a child hits the age of 10, they become a laborer, and they can then assign them to a specific job. That, of course, leads to some really, really weird circumstances where you will see a 10-year-old shacked up with a 30-year-old having babies together. Okay. With an active school, though, what happens is instead of becoming a laborer at age 10, they become a student and only become a laborer at age 17. However, in return for that, they become incredibly more productive. They produce more, they work more, etc., etc. Hospital used to heal diseases. I think that's pretty obvious. As you can see here, my average health is maximum because I do have an herbalist right here. Or you can build a hospital, which I believe is much more powerful. You have a town hall. Town halls don't really need workers, but they give you a variety of stuff. For instance, a town hall basically gives you all the information that you see here, plus production info, like how much is produced and how much is used of a certain resource. It shows you line graphs. And above all, it allows you to accept or deny citizenship to nomads. Nomads are people that randomly show up at your village, and if you accept their citizenship, they instantly become your citizens as long as you have houses for them. Keep in mind, though, they usually come in large packs, so you might need a lot of food and a lot of housing. Yeah. Anyway, town services. Chapel and cemetery. Chapel, of course, is basically just a happiness boost. A cemetery is for when people die, so the happiness boost isn't that. Happiness penalty for when someone dies of old age, of course, isn't actually that great. Food production. You have your basic crop field. They have a crop field for crops, pasture for trees, orchard for trees, pasture for animals, fishing dock, as you can see here, for fishes. Hunting cabin, of course, for hunting deer. That gives you venison and leather. Herbalist for herbs, as you can see here. Gatherer's hut, like onions, mushroom, berries, and roots. Yay. Anyway, resource production. Here's the main thing, right? Eventually, you're gonna run out of resources. Pure and simple. If you just mine all the stuff, eventually you're gonna run out of stuff. So that's why you use resource production, as you can see here. A woodcutter produces firewood. As long as you have logs, as you can see, that's firewood right there on the top. As long as you have logs, the woodcutter will cut firewood, which is basically fuel for those cold nights. The forester will plant trees and will cut them down. The herbalist will gather herbs for health purposes. The blacksmith, as you can see here, makes tools, which can, first of all, iron tools, later on steel tools if you have coal, which can then be used, obviously, which are, of course, better than iron tools. The tailor makes clothing, as you can see, the tavern brews alcohol. The mine is basically can only be built on, as you can see, mountainsides, but it provides a certain amount of iron and coal that can be mined out, and then of course the mine just stays there. Same for the quarry, really. It isn't infinite, but it has a lot of stuff there. Here's the thing, really. I could go on and on and on about this, but the problem is, this thing has tooltips everywhere, and very simple tooltips, like, go ahead. Tavern, brews alcohol and makes citizens happy. That's all you need to know. That is literally all you need to know. There's nothing else you need to know. That's it. That's literally it. And then, of course, you have, there isn't really coal like iron. It's something I really don't understand. It's like, coal should appear in the wild, but it doesn't. Instead, you have iron, stone, and forest and trees. You can just strip remove everything, or you can selectively remove stuff. I, for instance, have a really high surplus of wood, so I'm just basically harvesting stone and iron, as you can see here. How is this game like Dwarf Fortress? Citizen building. You have to keep in mind that you have to pay close attention to your citizens' happiness and to your citizens' health. Your citizens are the most important resource, and essentially, there is no goal to this game. There is really no goal. Your goal is to survive. There is no set, you have won, whatever. It really isn't. You just go on. You just keep playing. And eventually, you just stop playing altogether, and maybe you come back later to play some more. That's it. That's literally the whole game right there. There really isn't anything there. It's pretty much like Dwarf Fortress, except you can't really like do stupid crap like build a fortress out of soap, or attempt to create a lava pump that goes get lava from the very depths of hell itself. Not yet, at least. But I believe this game is being patched. In fact, when this game came out, there was a very small percentage of people who had this really weird game-breaking bug that couldn't even start the game. And the first piece of news that appeared on the Steam page was the sole developer going, I understand that a very few people are having this problem, don't worry, here's how you do it, here's how you fix the bug, etc, etc. I have seen less care from bigger developers. Okay? That's saying something. This guy cares. This developer cares about the game. And you know what? It's a refreshing change of pace from the normal, we have produced the game and go fuck yourself if it has any bugs kind of approach. The game as it is right now, I have not encountered a single bug. Maybe some pathfinding issues, definitely some pathfinding issues, and the fact, of course, that if you have a lot of orders for your laborers, they do kind of conflict, really, and people will happily starve themselves because basically you start with a cart, like a small cart with all your stuff, right? And if you basically, when you build a barn, you want to move your stuff from the cart to the barn, because the barn is a bigger storage. What happens is, if you have your laborers ordered to strip remove all resources in an area, and while they're still doing that, you order them to remove resources from the cart, they won't do it. They will finish the first order first, then move the cart. And the stupid thing is, as long as the cart is marked for demolition, people can't go and get the food that's in the cart. As such, people will happily starve themselves to death because you didn't give them orders in the correct way. So yeah, this game is a lot like Dwarf Fortress in the sense that your people are idiots, basically. Your people are complete and total idiots who will happily kill themselves unless you give them very specific orders. This game is very cruel in that aspect. You need to know exactly what you're doing. You need to tell you guys exactly what you want them to do, or else they will happily starve themselves to death. Also, I don't know what happens when your happiness gets too low, but I don't want to test that out, obviously. I do know what happens when you get your health too low. You get outbreaks of diseases. I once had an influenza plague happen. I lost like 7 people. It was terrible. I'm currently running on a self-imposed challenge, which is a no starvation run. Right? Basically, what that means is, as soon as someone starves, I immediately just stop the map and restart all over again. I'm actually just gonna have to write down the fucking map sheet, because I like this map sheet, I really do. As you can see here, one of the things you have to realize is, alright, I have 2 hunting cabins. Alright, here's what happens, right? When you have stuff like pastures, crops, crop fields, and orchards, since they're self-contained and they're not really relying on the environment around them, you can place them wherever you want. I think I'm going to actually place buildings in around here, like villages and storage barns and whatever. But when it comes to stuff like gathering, like Gatherer's Hut or hunting or Herbalist or Forester Lodges, you see that there's like very thin yellow line. You can't actually see it now because of the snow. Like, you see the line there? That's the effect line. Basically, that means that every basically what that means is this building will harvest within that circle, as you can see. And if you have buildings in that circle, that means it's less area for that building to gather. So basically, if I had buildings within this circle, that building would produce less. As far as I'm aware of, that's how it works. Which means that you're going to have to place your gathering buildings far away from your main buildings. You're also going to risk reducing production, which is why I have them over here, and the crop fields really close. How does this work? Basically, pastures work like this. You can set a slider, as you can see here, to set a maximum number of animals. And essentially what will happen is the more herdsmen you have, the faster the animals will be produced. And once they hit the maximum, they will continue breeding, of course, but the herdsman will kill off the excess. As you can see, not only am I producing eggs, normally, 666 eggs, yay, but I'm producing chicken that I'm, slaughtering. Same thing for here. As you can see here, I just killed a cow, produced 320 beef, and 8 leather. That's basically how it works, huh? Old age. When people die of old age, this is how it works. Is if you have an unassigned laborer, and if someone who's specialized dies of old age, a laborer will automatically take that position. If there are no laborers available, then fuck you. You lose. God damn it, I really hate it when this happens. Died of old age, died of old age, died of old age, died of old age. Oh, god damn. And that's pretty much it. That's the game for you. I just want to show you how the trading works, basically. That's pretty much it. I believe this game will continuously get patched. I hope it gets more content. I really do. Because it really is deserving of more content. It really is. I have shit tons of food. But as far as I'm aware of, you can't really trade food. I don't think you can really trade food in for other stuff. I do have a lot of leather, so I can make more clothing. Yeah, okay. As you can see, this game relies a lot on micromanagement. As in, if you don't need someone doing a job, or if you don't want someone doing a job, just remove them there, put them as laborers, because you see autosave right there. Put them as laborers, that's exactly what you're going to need. Okay? If you don't want someone working as a tailor or a blacksmith because, I don't know, you don't have enough materials or whatever, just remove them entirely, don't let them waste time. And here's what the symbol means. A question mark means that there's no one working in the building. Oh, there it is. As you can see, it will pop up. You can see. The question mark means no one's working in the building. If there's someone working in the building and you have a forbidden sign, that means that they don't have enough resources. And if you have this sign here, the limit sign, that means you produce the max amount of resources. So basically, if I have 250 tools stockpiled, I would get this symbol over here, the arrow with a line, which meant you have produced the maximum amount. Either remove me from this blacksmith or increase the limit. Here's how it works, really. You get several types of merchants. I actually didn't get the livestock merchant. Not that it matters, because I don't have enough, shit for sheep. Nor do I have a pasture. Here's how it works, right? You increase the number of stuff you want to have here, whatever. You give at least one worker, and those workers will transport stuff from your storage down to the trading post. Now, what will happen then is, as you can see, it shows up here. You increase every item as a trade value. So 13 times 50 equals 450, and then you can buy whatever the hell it is you want to buy, as you can see here. And it tells you if you're overpaying or if you need more. I don't need food, obviously, so fuck that. As you can see here, purchase. This is what happens, right? If you have enough, basically this is for, I'm assuming this is for a really late game when you have a lot of population, but you can pretty much just increase the priority of which you buy, as you can see here. A priority logs on top, basically auto purchase when merchant arrives, when merchant leaves. You can pretty much just tell your people whenever you want to. It's completely automatic. You don't need workers. And of course I can order, like if I click, I want to order beans, cherries, and chestnuts, and just once order, and then I can dismiss them, as you can see here in the button, and then they go away. Obviously, I don't want to order anything because I have more than enough food. Click here, dismiss. As you can see here, this game does have basic supply chains. For instance, you can't make tools if you don't have logs and iron. You can't make clothes unless you have leather, wool, or leather plus wool for warm coats. If you make a tavern, you can make a whole different kind, several different kinds of ales. Oh, house is built. Awesome. You can make several different. As you can see here, our cleric is a 14-year-old girl. Yay. Yeah, this game gets really weird. Gets really weird because it basically treats 10-year-olds as full adults, so you can see how that works out. Wow. Basic thing is there's supply chains. Basically, you can't make alcohol without having the proper ingredients. You can't just make shit from shit. You really do need to harvest the raw resources and then process them into finer stuff. So in that sense, it is a lot like Dwarf Fortress. This is a city building game that a lot of city. To quote something I saw on the Steam page, this is a city building game that a lot of city building games wish they were. It's simple yet beautiful. I have found myself playing this game for hours and hours and hours on end because it's just that good. And then once you feel like it, you just stop and you just go play something else and then come back later. As you can see, the forbidden sign means you don't have enough stuff. Yeah, you don't have enough raw resources. I really need some cheap because then I have wool. And wool and leather goes and makes wool and leather make warm coats. So yay. Anyway, I believe that's it. This game is currently on Steam, I believe for €18.99 or your regional equivalent. It is worth the purchase. I didn't buy it. Victor bought it for me because I'm poor. It is worth the purchase. Also, this sign, as you can see, the empty circle means that no one. Basically, it appears on resource gathering buildings, like natural resource gathering buildings, like when it's not assigned, because I can assign, as you can see here, I can assign stuff. If I click this, I can change between chickens and cattle or whatever. It's not assigned, so it shows up like that. Oh, as you can see, of course, too much stuff, so I'm gonna have to make a different new barn. Go here, no storage. Also, those signs, as you can see, those those triangles indicate the edge of the things. Yeah, it's really terrible because they don't conflict with roads, and it really irked my OCD. But it's fine now. Don't worry, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. Really. God. And your builders take your sweet fucking time to do stuff. Might want to put two of them working at the same time, because Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, and please stay tuned in to the next video, which will probably be about Altus Live? I don't even know. Trying to fix the 1080p problem. I don't know why it happened or whatever. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Please stay tuned. Please stay tuned in. Buy this game. Support the developer. It's really worth it. Goodbye.